Okay, so it seems like recently there's been a little bit of a situation going on with Kronii from Hololive. Essentially, it seems like she has been replaced on a voice acting role for a pretty stupid reason, and a lot of fans are not happy about this, and apparently it's to do with this game here, Eternal Return, and essentially they put out a notice saying there's going to be a change in voice actor, saying, hello, survivors of Lumeria Island. The voice actor responsible for the English voice actor of the character Baeyong is scheduled to be replaced. Upon implementation, the English voice will not be applied, and we plan to add it as soon as possible at a later date. So yeah, the like very last minute thing here. It seems like the character isn't released yet, but it will be coming out in no voice, and then whenever it does, it seems like it will not be Kronii, which of course it was supposed to be, and it was supposed to be of her other account here, Dotavu. If that's what you want to call it, right? There's actually a really good clip here from Rainbow Retirees, so definitely go and give them a follow. But essentially, they give a little bit of, Kronii's kind of response as well, which I think is very, very important to this, because I think it is a little bit stupid, and it goes into as to why she actually, lost this role that she, seems to have lost all of a sudden. So you got the context here. Obviously, here is the announcement, saying it was the voice actor of one of the popular characters, and she's recast, and it was revealed because of a pun that she made 5 years ago, which was revealed on the other account there, saying, coming from someone whose English is also not their real first language, if English is not a language you're fluent in, I hope you are able to first analyze and understand what wordplay and genuinely harmful comments is before taking action. This has always been a constant problem I've had with some individuals, where some would process my words through a rough translator and twist my words. It was hurtful to see. I didn't think it would be a harmful, but I see how mistranslations towards myself can make a negative impact. I hope those who could misconstrue words through a mistranslation could reflect on how their seemingly innocent action can impact others and be more careful with their actions. So yeah, it seems like she made a joke 5 years ago, which ended up losing her this role, which is very unfortunate, and obviously they play the clip in a minute. So yeah, they say, I won't lie, I take an opportunity over this, it's quite hurtful. There are more projects on the horizon to look forward to that I constantly audition for with my own efforts. Thank you to those I was able to work with, and to the people who was excited for me, I'll continue to do better. So yeah, those are the kind of tweets there.
I was a bit down today because, well, some people were commenting on what I said on stream from like 5 years ago. And it was like when I saw a boar and I made a pun that I was going to kill this boar because it's such a boar, hence why the tweet happened.
I'm gonna kill this boar because it's such a bore. Boring.
Even though most people understood that it was a pun, there were some people who didn't understand it because they're not too fluent in English, and so they thought I was talking about the game itself being boring and being...
So yeah, that was the clip, right? That is the whole clip, by the way. That is the reason why she managed to lose this role, is due to the fact that she said bore and that she said boring as a joke. Right, because of course it's a funny joke, right? So because they're boring, it's such a bore, and then obviously the boar, the animal, right? And of course it was a pun. She wasn't actually calling the game boring. She wasn't calling it out for being boring or anything like that. But it seems like this joke has been taken in the wrong way by these people, by this company, and then it's obviously lost her this role, which obviously sucks, because again, it is a joke. And I think the fact that you're able to be fired over something like this, or I say fired, but like replaced over something like this, is crazy, right? Because you're just making a joke about the game. You're literally just reacting to it, and it's not like, again, she wasn't genuinely calling the game boring. It seems like a complete misunderstanding or mistranslation, as she says, for this to be happening.
Being disrespectful, and I would have never said anything like that in a sponsored stream, no less. And then they also commented on how unenthusiastic I sounded, and how self-conscious I get about my voice just coming across as like bored. That was like back in 2021. Was it 3 months after my debut? So I was a lot more reserved, and I was really nervous about, you know, not sucking too terribly for the game. I don't know. It's really sad when some people twist your words, especially when it's so easy to fact check it by watching the source stream, and you can tell that it was a pun, and there's a timestamp for it as well. So it's really hurtful, especially when there are few people that believe what those other people say instead of going and checking the source material themselves. And yeah, I mean, I really didn't think puns could be so dangerous to the point where people could question the nature of your personality. And if
Yeah, it is crazy, right? And of course, it's one of these things where, you know, it was very obvious that it was a pun. I don't know how people took it the wrong way, but they obviously were including the fact that she sounded bored during it, and she says it was just down to nerves, right? She was much more reserved and whatever, so she didn't like to be so expressive with her content then, and obviously she's quite nervous about the fact that, you know, it's a big sponsor as well. She didn't want to mess it up, and, you know, it was a little bit more reserved, and I think that's fair enough. But obviously some people took it too far, and then obviously the game heard a lot of this criticism and has decided to replace her, right? And I think it is pretty crazy. There's been a lot of comments as well, for example, saying this is the kind of situation as where if a company makes a decision over a ball pun, you just don't do business with them, period. To recast Kronii over that is only a decision a toddler would do. It's unprofessional to associate with them, frankly. And yeah, to be honest, I think that at the end of the day, she might have dodged a bullet here. Like, I'm going to be real. Although it sounds like, you know, this is like a really bad thing for her, because it is. Obviously it is, because it's a big game. You know, she wanted this role, etc. I do think at the same time, though, if the company was as kind of sensitive to kind of fire you or replace you for making a joke about a ball, you know, what else are they going to do, right? You know, could something happen down the line in the future? Because, of course, I don't know if maybe she needs to record more voice lines later down the line as well for future updates and whatever. You know, what could happen between then and, you know, her first voicing the character? You know, you would have to be kind of like looking at every single thing you've done. And I'm sure a lot of the voice actors, the current voice actors for the game right now, are probably worrying like, oh God, wait, if I say something wrong, they're going to fire me, right? Which of course is completely wrong. And yeah, as people are saying, like, it's one of these things where if a company's going to act like that, you're probably better off without the company, you know? But I do understand that, of course, at the same time as well, it's pretty sad because, you know, you were going to get this big voice acting job, and it's been kind of, you know, ruined because of this small little, you know, joke, right? And that's it. And I think it is stupid that they have, you know, ended up getting fired over this, right? Or ended up getting replaced. Saying over a pun is insane to me. I feel bad for her. Saying I have no words on how petty this act was. Kronii was way too gentle with her words about that asshole. Defamation and slander would be on the menu to make a case of point on that. Saying they say I sounded bored while playing the game. Said bruh, that's literally her natural default voice. And yeah, apparently some people were like kind of you know, pointing towards like certain people on Twitter and stuff like that were essentially spreading these things, saying like she sounds bored and she made this joke and whatever. So it seems like potentially maybe there could be some antis involved in there, in the sense that maybe they're looking at this and seeing an opportunity to get her, you know, fired or losing her job, right, from this, and you know, making up these posts. So that could also be a case as well, right? Which sucks because it does seem pretty targeted in that case. But obviously the game has responded to what people have been saying, and then yeah, it seems like they didn't really do the due diligence in looking at exactly what was wrong and actually finding out, you know, whether she did something wrong or not, which it doesn't seem like they really looked into it too much, right?
if I do say something rude, I believe I should apologize for it. But when I genuinely didn't do anything and there are people expecting me to apologize or expect me to have some sort of repercussions over a non-existent problem, it makes me kind of sad to see, I guess. It's not me trying to like save face and do something. I really genuinely did not do anything other than making a pun and maybe sounding unenthusiastic because I was kind of nervous. It's like one of the first few sponsored streams that I got, but I feel like it's something that can't be really helped. I mean, nowadays I've warmed up a lot ever since. Today I just woke up feeling, oh, today is a day, and then I saw and I was like, oh, today is a day negative. And yeah, that's it. Genuinely just a pun about the animal and not about the game. So I just kind of confused. Anything we can do to help? Well, I guess if you guys come across something like that, I suppose it would be nice to tell people that maybe make sure that they're not misled and they can check the source material. Correcting them would be good.
So yeah, I think that's a pretty important part as well, because there might be some like misinformation going around, you know, saying that she's super boring or whatever, trying to make up like really big, like, how would you call it, like statements or whatever and claims. So I guess the best thing is to kind of, you know, show people how it is and say that, hey, you know, she just made a pretty innocent joke and ended up getting replaced for it. So yeah, I mean, that is essentially all there is for this situation. I just kind of wanted to share with you guys because it does suck. And hopefully, you know, maybe she can get some even bigger roles in the future with an even bigger game. Because honestly, I think that would probably be the better thing, right, to come out of this. But yeah, I'm hoping that they will find something like this, right? But yeah, that's all I got for this video. If you guys did enjoy it, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameStop, use my code Kaza, get 10% off. Again, they've got a ton of really cool stuff over there. Definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.